Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rudy Maxwell, and today I'm going to be talking to you about why I love playing Super Mario World. Wait a minute, Super Mario World. Am I talking about that Super Mario World? The one that was released November 21st, 1990? Almost 30 years ago for the Super Nintendo? Yes, that is precisely the one that I am talking about. And you know why? Because it's an excellent game. So let's get into exactly the reasons why. So this game is old. It's really, really old. And it seems kind of logical that as games age, they get worse. But that really isn't the case with Super Mario World, at least for the most part. So the biggest thing that could use some cleaning up is the graphics. If Nintendo for some reason wanted to remaster this game today, which would be awesome, then they could probably just change the graphics and leave everything else about the game exactly the same, and I would love it. If I were to describe the gameplay to you, the most accurate way would be to call it a classic platformer. It's a classic in the sense that it is super old, as I've mentioned for the third time now, but it's also classic in the sense that it's like all the other platformers that people make, except probably a bit simpler with the way the buttons lay out. You see, the Super Nintendo had 4 primary buttons on your right side and a D-pad on the left side, as well as 2 shoulder buttons, a start and a select button. And that may sound like most of a controller, but when you think about it, just give it a second of thought. Yeah, it's missing quite a couple of buttons and levers and switches and pulleys. And the entire game was built using not even all of those buttons that it was given. So it's very, very simple to control, but they still manage to make an epic game out of it. The progression starts you off on the middle of this large map where you go from level to level trying to beat them and move on to the next level until you've conquered the entire game. That's a very simple premise to start with, but the great thing about it is that this game is riddled with secrets, and that's one of my favorite things. In fact, that probably is my favorite thing about this game. The longer you play it, the more secret stuff you find. So for a game that's only something like 300 kilobytes, you can get hours and hours of gameplay from it, especially if you haven't played it before, so you're discovering all this new stuff for the first time. From my experience, it's completely possible that there might be more secret stuff in this game than there are in modern Mario games, which can take up to like 7 gigabytes. Speaking of newer Mario games, that brings up an interesting little point in my mind. You can compare Super Mario World to newer Mario games pretty closely. And in general, you would rule that the newer Mario game comes out on top. It has more features, probably more levels, maybe, actually, because this game has a lot of content. But probably more levels, more things to do, more abilities, better graphics. But you also have the nostalgia of this game. Now, you might, if you're just hearing about it for the first time, somehow, but nostalgia is actually a decent amount of my love for this game. It's one of the first games that I ever played in my meager little life. And that does carry with it some significance. A game that's this old being this good. While I was preparing for this video, I played multiple hours this morning, and I don't think I even got halfway through the game. Now, it may sound weird, like if I played a few hours and I got halfway through the game, but keep in mind that I've played this game a lot throughout the years. I know where a ton of secrets are, so it's not exactly a hard thing for me to do. So we should really give credit where credit is due. Shigeru Miyamoto and his team who made this game have created something magnificent. Something that can hold up to the test of time, and that I think still holds up to the test of time today. If you want to play this game, there are plenty of various ways. You can emulate it, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I think. You could get the Super Nintendo Classic. You could get an actual Super Nintendo with the actual game cartridge. You could... Oh, wait, no, you can't do that anymore. I was gonna say you could get it on the Wii, but I don't think it's there anymore. You might be able to get it on the Wii U. You can get it in a bunch of places. I think you can even get it on the Switch now. So Nintendo provides you plenty of access to play this game. I recommend you try it out if you've never tried any of these classic Mario games before. Anyway, that's about all that I have to say for this video. Thanks a ton for watching. I hope that you guys did enjoy, and I guess I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.